What's up, everybody? My name is Brian and this is More Low Less Talk. All right, in this video we finally get these mounts for these upper links installed. We even put gussets in them and everything. These things are solid. It's the most solid part of the whole car, I believe. So anyway, check this video out. If you like this kind of content, hit subscribe, hit like, hit the notifications, hit all of the things. And other than that, man, hey, I want to shout out once again. I've done this before, but I want to shout out Crawford over at Virginia is for Lowriders. Go check his channel out when you're done watching this. He's one of the couple of just a couple of guys who inspired me to get this car going. And I think about him and another couple of other YouTube channels, Fab guys. I think about these guys all the time because, man, without them, I wouldn't know what I'm doing. I wouldn't know. Of course, I still don't really know what I'm doing, but I wouldn't have any direction. I wouldn't know where to start without those guys. And anyway, I want to thank those guys. But this time, let's go. Virginia's for Lowriders. Thanks, Crawford. And let's check out the rest of this video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. All right, when we left off on the last episode, we finally got the upper bar mounted. And but if you remember, the pinion angle was wrong. So the first thing I'm going to do here is get this pinion angle set correct. And once I've got the pinion angle set correctly, then I can go ahead and move on to the other side and get the other upper arm mounted on the passenger side. Now, the way I'm going to do that is, first thing I got to do is I got to set this bar to ride height. 1 degree, if you remember, is the same 1 degree on the chassis. And the reason why 1 degree is because my garage floor is not even. Get that set at 1 degree, and then we're going to move in here to the pinion. All right, here we are. And as you can see, 3.4 degrees. And that's actually going the wrong way. So right now it's tilted down. It needs to tilt up 1 degree. The reason why 1 degree, because generally speaking, you want it tilted up between 2 and 4 degrees usually. The reason why I'm saying 1 degree is because just simply that's where it was from the factory. And honestly, this little shield or whatever around the drive shaft, you know, that's what I've been measuring from the beginning. And it's very possible that once you get that up at 1 degree, maybe the actual pinion angle is, you know, 2, 3, 4 degrees. So I'm just measuring from a spot that's not the actual pinion. So what I need to do now is extend this upper control arm. So I'm going to pull this bolt out and extend that arm. And that's going to tilt that. That's going to, let's see, this way. It's going to tilt this pinion from here to here and get it where I need it to be. Get this pinion angle set, or this get this lower bar set back where I want it. .8, that's close enough. Let's go in here. .8. Now let me make sure I'm .8 in the correct direction. I am not. All right, a little bit more. We're at 1.1. Let's come on back in here. 0.5. I think we are not quite there, but we are almost there. little bit more. Sucks I have to keep lowering this thing, but I don't know, just gotta do it. All right, we are exactly 1.0, which is exactly where we want to be. And 0.9, that is beautiful. All right, now that we're exactly where we want to be on the axle, I can go ahead and get to cutting on this side. So what I'm doing here, you won't be able to see it on camera, is I'm going over here to this side and measuring. I'm taking all my measurements from here. I'm measuring from here, I'm measuring from here. I'm going to measure kind of everywhere and get this thing where I've already cut out, and I'm going to transfer that over to here. That's what I'm doing right now. This is going to be the cut into the body. Once I get through here, then I'm going to have to cut through the frame. All right, this is a bracket for the sway bar. This is a brake line, which I have already cut over here on this side. So I'm going to have to make a new brake line to work around all of this stuff that I'm building. So I got to cut this off, and then I'll get to cutting. I'll remeasure over here the size that I need, and I'll get to cutting on the frame over here. This frame actually bends underneath here, but I actually end up cutting right through the frame, even under the bend and everything. So it's going to be a big C shape when I get done. But first things first, I got to cut this bracket out. All right, so this is 2 layers. The first layer is cut through. I still need to cut this bottom part where it goes under. But the second layer has bracing on the back side, so I have to go from underneath and cut all that bracing out because it doesn't want to hammer out right now. And anyway, I'm going to do that right now. Good grief, man, what a pain in the butt. I couldn't really get the camera in there to show me cutting these brackets out, but I will show you the final product. So here is it. It's got a big C cut out of it, and that is going to make room for this guy. It's going to go in something just like that. Run in there somewhere. Now, the next step. The next step is to cut this airbag bracket. This is where the original spring sat, but I need to cut this bracket off because I have new brackets going on. All right, guys, so we are ready to install some stuff on the axle. I'm sorry that I didn't get to show much removing the original factory brackets. I just couldn't get the camera in there, and anyway, it just kind of is what it is. I just couldn't get the video. So anyway, but here's what we are doing right now. So I had these brackets made. Get them in the light here. This is my own design brackets, and I'll explain these in a second. But I had my friends over at Honda Medics. They cut it out on a plasma table, so I just gave them the design and they cut it out for me. I gave them the steel, and they cut it out, man. They're great. When you have like a repetitive pattern, like these are 4 of these that I needed done, and you know, I had to make sure the hole was aligned right for the bolt for the upper arm and everything. Anyway, so they all got to be identical, and it was just easier to have them cut it on their plasma cutter table. So anyway, but this is what the bracket is for. So the bracket sits on top of the axle here, and the airbag eventually will sit on top of here. So it's very important that this be the same level of the ones way over there. You can see them. Anyway, and also obviously the bolt here needs to line up as well. Now I've got these 2 on here to make sure I am perpendicular with the axle, and then eventually I'm just going to tack this in and make sure it all lines up, right? So this comes in here and bolts in there, and then I'll have the other one, you know, on this side. So I'm just going to get this tacked in for right this second, and move these out of the way, pull this up. I'm going to bolt this in with the other bracket, and let's see how it looks. All right, we can see that's nice and sturdy. So you guys probably can't see that what I'm doing here. Okay, so I've just tightened this just so I can see where this is going to land on the inside, and just make sure, getting too old for this, y'all, and just make sure we're hitting where we want to hit. And real time, baby, that's it. So we're right in the middle here. So once I go to install this bracket, it's going to line right up. That's excellent, excellent, excellent. So I'll go ahead and finish weld these brackets, and then we'll probably be able to move on to, dare I say, we'll be able to move on to the inside, weld that up, and I might have another upper arm mounted. Holy crap. How much faster this side is than the other side, because the other side I just didn't have any idea how to do it, how to go about doing it. So anyway, let's get this going, man. I'm excited now. can you believe it, guys? The moment is finally here. I had no idea I would get this far today, but here we are. I've got the upper bar mounted into the brackets. They're welded on, and now all right, here's where we're at. Bar comes through right here. I've already sanded the metal away, or I should say the rust away, so I'm ready to start welding. And this guy is going to get bolted on, and what I learned from this side is the bar bottoms out on here as soon as the shock bottoms out. So right now the shock is bottomed out. So in other words, the axle is as low as it will go. So when I install this, I know that if I just kind of angle it up until the bar hits the bottom here, that's going to be installed correctly. And then consequently when it goes up, it won't hit the top right here. Anyway, I'm going to redo this side. Once this one's done and installed and solid, I'm going to redo this side. This will probably come tomorrow. There's a couple little, I mean, we're talking about little tweaks that I don't really like. I wish I hadn't welded it so far in, but at least it's not fully welded in. And it looks terrible anyway. I had my heat settings wrong. I didn't even know. So that's why I couldn't get it to weld right. I was wondering about that. But we're going to get this thing going right now. I am excited. So I'll put you up on the tripod and you can watch what's going on. Okay, so where it bottoms out on the bottom, see the top corner there? I'm not crazy about that. I would like the top corner, I'm talking about the top right corner, I would like the top right corner to be closer. That way I can weld it all the way across. So I'm just going to tack it. I'm going to put a couple of tacks in here, and then I'm going to go outside and cycle the suspension and make sure that the bar doesn't bottom out here on the top. And if it doesn't, man, we're golden, boy. We can just go ahead and weld this thing in, because this thing's good, man, around the whole thing. Unlike that side, there's a whole list of problems. But I think I'm going to go ahead and tack this and see what happens. Okay, we are back under here. Reason why is our brackets are hitting here and here, both brackets. So I'm going to chop them. I made these long on purpose. And anyway, you know, just in case. But anyway, so I'm going to chop these, and we'll chop the other ones too, because the other side is also bottoming out. I don't want to. I'm going to have to take the shock out. Alright, I am 2 inches, almost 2 inches lower than where I want to be. Yeah, I'm 1.75 inches lower than where I want to be. Why is that? I was doing so good on the other side. Alright guys, it's the next day. Battery went dead on the camera, battery went dead on the light. So I figured that was a sign to go ahead and stop for the day. So here we are the next day. Let me get you caught up to speed. I don't remember exactly where I left off last time. But we've got this tacked in. And after cycling the suspension, it looks like the arm is bottoming out on the top here. Whenever whenever you dump the bags, it's going to bottom out on the top there. So I need to figure out what I need to do there. Can I just sort of use this as my axis and spin it up, or do I need to chop out some more up here? So that's what I'm going to determine right now, and it's actually doing it on both sides. I didn't catch it from when I installed that the first time. So I need to determine that, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm getting too old for this, y'all. Alright, the way I'm going to do that is I've got my level on here, and I'm going to jack this axle out. Right now it's at full droop. The shocks are the only thing holding it up. So that's good. We've actually got a little bit of room under here, so that tells me that I need to lift this up a little bit on the bottom, because about that same amount of room that I've got down here, I'm losing it up here at the top. Alright, so anyway, so the way I'm going to figure this out is I'm going to jack this up, get this level with the frame. I'm going to confirm that this bar is also the same angle once it's level with the frame. In other words, level with the frame is right height. So once these two bars are right height, hopefully they're both level with each other, and then that will tell me on the inside here if I'm going to use that as a pivot and just spin it up, or do I need to, like the way it is now, lift the whole thing up. So I'm going to get on that right now, and either way it looks like I need to redo both sides. So and I am, what I was showing before, the measurement from the top of the axle to the top of the frame needs to be 4.5 inches, and I'm about 5.25. So I don't, I got 3/4 of an inch to go. I don't have far. So once I get this thing moved, it ought to be pretty darn good. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Probably won't record any of this part of it, but once I determine what I need to know, then I will start recording again. All right, I'm not going to lie, boy, this is taking a lot of sort of back and forth in and out of the car and stuff like that, trying to get this thing figured out. But I finally now have it figured out. This one is correctly lined up. I had to cut the welds and remove it and everything like that. This one is perfect. And so now I need to adjust this side. But what I want to show is, look how much farther out this one sits than this one. It's also angled down a little bit more. And that also kind of helps keep it out of the way of the seat whenever I go to put the seat back in. But anyway, right now I've got to go ahead and cut this thing out and get it lined up the same way as the other one, and then I'll start showing some fabrication video, me welding and stuff like that. Can you even see me? The screen's cracked. Anyway, but then I'll get back to showing some video of me welding and stuff like that. It's just everything that I'm doing right now, I can't get the camera in there. So anyway, let's get to it. All right, y'all. took a long time to kind of get to this point. It's a bunch of tweaking and tuning and in and out, in and out, in and out of the car. And anyway, so here is where I'm at so far. So this side is tacked in, and my pinion angle is reading 1, the correct 1. So you don't want it 1 down, you want it 1 up. And this piece is the only thing I have left to remount. So now I've got the axle is level, and matter of fact, here's what I did. I set this thing at ride height, so I got 1 degree on my lower arm, and then I welded the axle to the frame on this side and the other side, so our axle is perfectly level at ride height. And at this ride height, we have this perfect pinion angle. All right, so now all I need to do is weld this in, and basically you know, because of the arm doesn't shrink or expand at all, so you really kind of can't get this wrong, except for the angle. Like if this is your pivot, the angle here, however I angle this, can change, and that all that would change though is if it doesn't go all the way up or go all the way down, it'll bottom out on the bar on the inside of this. So anyway, that's where I'm at. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld this in. Thankfully I finally have a shot where I can actually show you guys a little bit of fab work. So I'll go ahead and get this welded in. Okay, so I got 3 points of contact here, down in here, and also right here, and that basically is going to keep it, you know, from moving any one direction. There's no way it's going to move at all. And I just kind of tried to match the other side, so I was looking at things like this gap right here, trying to match it pretty close on here. It might be a little off, but we're going to find out right now. Essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut those tabs that are welded to the frame, and I'm going to cycle this suspension completely up and down and make sure it goes completely up and down. So there we go with that. Okay, so right now we are bottoming out. This side is 1/4 inch lower than the other side, so that means the bar on the other side with the bracket I just welded, it's bottoming out on that. But I'm not going to worry about a 1/4 inch. And let's just I'm going to cut these bars off next, and I'm going to move the axle all the way up and make sure we have make sure we can go all the way up like I want. Again, my measurement from the axle to the top of the frame, I want that to be 4.5 inches. Okay, moment of truth. All right, we are 5 1/4. I'm not bottomed out there yet. Not bottomed out there yet. Alright, so I am 1/2 of an inch off. As of right now, I don't know why. Because I'm not bottomed out on anything. We'll go measure the other side. This side looks actually good. We're actually 4 inches here on this side. So I am bottomed out somewhere on that other side, and I need to find out where it's at. My guess is it is the bracket on the axle. It's probably hitting on the underside, on the under part of the frame. Let's take a quick look. This is something I won't be able to show on the camera. It's just too, maybe I can, I don't know, we'll give it a shot. All right, I don't know if you can see that, but I think this is where we're bottoming out, is right here. This bracket closer to the outside of the car, I think it's hitting something up there. So I'm gonna let this, I'm gonna let this axle back down and take a look and see if I can see anywhere that thing is rubbing. Okay, if you guys look right here, try to get my shadow out of the way, but if you look there, you'll see where it's rubbing. I actually cut these out of the other side already. That's why it's not hitting on the other side. So I'm gonna grab the plasma and cut those out, and then we'll give this another cycle. Boy, I tell you what, nothing on this car comes easy. So anyway, this is the guy I just cut out, and I ain't touching that right now because it is hot. Let's get this thing jacked up and see if we're hitting anything else. This lens is cracked. I just got this lens. Woo, okay. Put a measuring tape on this thing and see where we're at. Oh my God. We are at 4.5. Let's run to the other side. Whew. We are also, well, we're actually just over 4 on this side, which is even better, but I don't need it to go that high. Okay, I'm kind of exhausted. I think I'm going to stop for the day. I'm going to pick this up tomorrow. What I'm going to do tomorrow is go ahead and let me turn these lights on. All right, so what I'm going to do tomorrow is go ahead and weld those brackets fully in, and I think I'm going to put some gussets on them as well. I think gussets going to the side, because the frame is right under here, so I think I might have to cut the sheet metal out some more and gusset it to the side, and then I'm going to go ahead and fully weld those guys in, and I might put gussets on the underside here too, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm not sure the gussets on the other side will do much good. So that's it for now. We'll see you in the AM. What's up, everybody? It's the next day, kind of getting a little bit of welding going. I am going to weld these up around the perimeter of them on the front and the back. So there's the back right here. I'm going to go around to the other side and weld that as well. And then I am going to put some gussets in there, and the gussets are going to kind of like connect, you know, here to here. So this is the rail part of the frame right here. So I'm going to connect that here, and I'm going to go on the inside, and I don't have a lot of light in here, but I think you can still see. I'm going to go to the inside and connect some. There we go. Connect some from here to the rail part of the frame underneath here. So I'm going to have to chop this part of the body a little bit, but that's going to help reinforce it quite a bit. Going straight to the rail like that, that'll make it way more sturdy. And so that's what I'm doing today. Okay, so here's where we're at so far. I mentioned I'm getting too old for this, squatting around in these tiny ass cars. Actually, this car is not tiny, but anyway, you see. So, got to weld it in on this side. I'm going to weld in the other side. Oh my God. And then I'm going to put some gussets in here. Stay tuned. Okay, y'all, it's the next day. I'm about to wrap up, I believe, this week's episode. What I'm going to do now is I made these little cardboard templates, and they're going to go in here like this. There we go. And they're basically gussets to help strengthen these things so they don't try to wobble like this. And I made another one for this side down here. All right, so here's my two pieces that I have cut out of cardboard so far. And then I'm probably going to do some gussets here. And I definitely want to do one on the other side as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get these going. All right, here's something. You don't necessarily want to throw away even your small scraps. Sometimes you do have little things like this where you can take, you know, like I got this little gusset I need to cut, and I can cut it out of this, just, I mean, barely, but I can cut it out of this piece of scrap right here. So that's just one less chunk I have to cut out of my big piece. So anyway, just keep that in mind. Don't necessarily need to throw them all away, although these ones are pretty much done for. Okay, so I just put a few tacks. Here we go. All right, so I just put a few tacks on this side and this side. I don't want to fully weld them because the you know, I don't want to get the heat too hot on this rubber, on this you know, for this end link here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut and tack all of my little links that I want to build, and then I'm going to pull the bars out one at a time. I'm going to pull, you know, just one bar out, go ahead and get all that welded up and let it cool off, and then I'll put that bar back in, and then I'll come to this side and do the same thing. I don't want both bars out at the same time just because the, you know, the axle will drop and stuff, so I don't really necessarily want that. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get the rest of these gussets built and tacked, and we'll see how it goes. I don't think I'm gonna do a gusset on this side. I don't think it needs it. So I got this one here. That's going to keep it from moving any which way, and then I'm also going to do another one on the underside. So I think I'm all right. I'll just do the 2 gussets. Maybe I'm just being lazy. I don't know. Okay, y'all. I hope this is about the last video I have to do with a cracked screen. I really apologize for that. The new one should be in today. However, let's go ahead and show what we got going on here. All right, so I got my gusset on this side, my gusset on that side. That stuff's still cooling off. And another gusset there. And one more gusset there. Okay. I believe that's all that I need to do in my structurally engineered taught brain. I believe that's all I need to do. So now I think we've basically hit the end of this video. That's what I think. I think next what I'm going to do is I'm going to tackle finally the airbag portion. I was thinking about doing the center here, you know, for the pinion. I'm going to finish all that up, tidy all that up, and also put a bump stop in there. But I don't know exactly where that's going to lay until they get the airbags in here. So I think my next step for the next video, get these airbags in, and if I have time, I will also do that that pinion, the pinion bit with the bump stop. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you on the next video, hopefully without a cracked lens. Thanks.